Nothing can prepare you for the overwhelming sight of the vast slums that has become home for the Rohingya Muslims escaping from Myanmar. Stranded between two countries, over 1 million Rohingya Muslims of Myanmar find themselves displaced on the hilltops of the borders of Bangladesh, unwanted in their homeland and barely surviving in the camps. On August 25, 2017, in the garb of pursuing the attackers of two security posts, Myanmar security forces and Buddhist mobs attacked hundreds of Rohingya villages using gunfire, helicopters, and rocket-propelled grenades. Within 4 months, behind a wall of silence concealing the atrocities committed, the military operation resulted in hundreds of extrajudicial killings, rape, and torture.
This is not only a human rights issue, it's become a crisis. It is a stain in the humanity.
More than 700,000 Rohingya Muslims fled from the hell that raged in Rakhine State with nothing but the clothes on their back.
In Cox's Bazar, we have accommodated hundreds of thousands. Now the figure runs up to more than 1 million now.
They shot my husband and killed him. I saw the army set fire on our house, and when we tried to escape, they shot my husband. They beat my 12-year-old son and threw him in the fire.
This latest influx of Rohingya joined the 300,000 who came to Cox's Bazar following similar waves of violence targeting them in past years.
I was pregnant when the attack happened. My husband was shot and stabbed. We ran. My husband tried to save us. He was holding our 7-year-old son, but they were both killed. I delivered my baby girl Rashida on the road to Bangladesh.
The arduous journey to cross the border into Bangladesh took weeks on foot, through jungles and rivers. Many died along the way, including children.
I was praying early morning when our village was attacked. My house was set on fire. I was burned, and I still feel pain from the infection. We started running here and there. My mother was burned and died. My 3 brothers died on the spot.
We are military personnel, border guarding force, standing with our weapon to protect the border of my country. But in front of me, there are innocent civilians, women and children. On the other side, another security force is firing on their back. They are running, trying to cross the border. That's what we have seen with our own eyes. That's not a humanitarian crisis. That's the humanitarian catastrophe. Why should I say that? I have seen pregnant woman carrying more than 9 months. She somehow stepped her first foot inside Bangladesh territory and she delivered her child in the open sky. We have seen pregnant kids 3 to 4 days. It was raining. She came in and said, "My son will die, what to do?"
He allowed the injured and sick to cross for medical care, but he had to keep everyone else in the small area of no man's land between the two countries until their registration in the camps is completed.
Next.
The Bangladeshi government allocated more land for the camps, paved access roads, built distribution centers, and drilled water wells. In these overcrowded and ill-equipped camps, rows and rows of shacks and tents made of bamboo and plastic sheets or gunny sacks on the slopes of muddy hills were built haphazardly to accommodate the growing number of forcibly displaced nationals from Myanmar. A delegation from the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the Independent Permanent Human Rights Commission of the OIC have been here to the camp for the past 2 days and listened to the horrible stories of the Rohingya Muslims who have escaped torture and persecution.
They took my child from my hand and threw him in the fire in front of my eyes.
When asked why they were attacked, they said because they registered themselves in the ID documents as Rohingya, which the Myanmar government refuses to recognize, and insists on calling them illegal Bengalis.
We didn't commit any crime against Myanmar government. If we were Buddhist and accepted Buddhism, we would have been like them and had all the citizenship rights of Myanmar. Our only crime is believing in Allah.
More than half the displaced in the camps are female. According to the officials, around 70,000 pregnant women arrived to the camps, and more than 36,000 orphaned girls and boys of all ages. Almost 55% of the population is children under the age of 17. The UN agencies working in the Katapalong and Balkhalay makeshift camps outside Cox's Bazar border town briefed the OIC delegation on their efforts and of international organizations and NGOs in providing shelter, food, medicine, and schools. Nevertheless, there are worries that funds and aid would start to dwindle eventually. There's not enough as it is. Not enough clinics, not enough schools, and not enough food. People have to stand for hours to get their share of food.
We have been here for more than 4 hours waiting for rice. They allocate to us every 15 days, but it has been 20 days now.
Humanitarian aid must be speed up to make sure that our Rohingya brothers and sisters are well fed, well clothed, and well housed. So I'm thankful to everybody in our member state, international community, but there is more work to be done in that regard.
There is a shortage in clean water and sanitation. Recently, there were outbreaks of diseases, such as cholera and diphtheria. Yet for the Rohingya, they prefer staying here rather than going back home, because they know they will be killed. And if they return, what would they return to?
The problem is that on the ground, the villages have been completely destroyed and leveled out by using bulldozers. So now, therefore, they have to have houses. Where do these people go? So these houses have not yet come up.
They yearn to go back to their villages and farms, but only if they could live in safety and security as citizens with full civil rights.
I'm appealing to our member states in particular to make this issue alive, to pressure international organizations to do something about it, and to pressure the Myanmar government, those of our member states who haven't been in a good relation with Myanmar government, to pressure them to ease the suffering and to make sure that they, first of all, to go back to their own home country, and secondly, to stop this killing and ethnic cleansing that we've been witnessing in a daily basis.
Meanwhile, here in these camps, there is no difference for them between sunrise and sunset. Sunrise does not bring them hope of a new day, and sunset does not promise them a better tomorrow.